Welcome to Spearfishing Badly, where I show you all of the things you probably shouldn't do while spearfishing. Started out my dive with, feeling congested, feeling pretty terrible, and forgetting my dive watch. I have no idea how deep this is. You shouldn't dive while congested. The reef I found was really beautiful, tons of great structure, lots of corals, lots of fishes, and I spotted this peacock grouper. They're an invasive. The species name is Cephalophilus argus. Locally we call them Roy, although that is not a Hawaiian name. It's just another common name. These guys are really damaging to the reef, so I started out my dive by plugging this one. I normally end up using them as chum or for crab bait, but anything we can do to get them off the reef. That is the sound of my ears and sinuses protesting. Visibility was good, but it wasn't good enough where I could see the bottom. On this drop, it was still kind of a semi-blind drop. I got down and then was surprised with these spectacled uhu. These are an endemic species. They only exist here in Hawaii. I saw this female and then turned around the corner rather than holding up and hunting like I should. Got distracted by two more. Can't decide which one to shoot at. You see my gun waving back and forth as my indecision absolutely cripples me. Ended up pulling the trigger on this one female. I knew it was a good holding shot. It went through the meat of the tail. These can be a little bit tricky, especially with the bigger ones. If you get a gut shot, they are likely to tear off. They're really strong fish. On this drop, I spotted this little omilu. Spooked it. Again, not how you're supposed to do things at all. Ended up getting a nice shot in it. It looks like a stone shot. The fish wasn't actually stoned, though. After I got it back in my hands, it did tear off, but I was able to keep a hold of it, even with it ripping off of the spear shaft. This is a size that my grandma and aunties often request. It fits nicely into their pans. A lot of them live alone and grew up eating a lot of fish. So this was a nice little gift to one of my aunties. This was my last drop of the day, which I think the session was maybe only 45 minutes. It just happened to be a super fishy, super productive area. As you can see, this is me not even dive bombing the fish. I just got down, saw these uhu, and then not doing anything you're supposed to, like holding up, hiding, dusting, scratching, any of that. I just kind of chased him for a little bit, and then I stopped. And then the fish was dumb and turned and looked at me. This is that example of a gut shot in one of these. She was about to tear off. I let go of my gun, swam up to her, tried to grab her. Letting go of the gun is one of the ways that you can reduce the tension on the line. Without the tension, not that they can't, but it's a lot harder for them to pull off and tear. So That is one of my biggest notes as someone who has terrible shot placement. If you shoot an uhu and it's a bad shot, it can definitely help you save the fish if you let go of the gun. And there you can see her belly had torn open. Those are those exposed guts. Had I not let go of the gun, she would have been able to tear off. And here's the catch for the day. We had caught a couple kala, those 2 nice uhu, and that omilu, and I'll show you what we did with her. Deep fried whole with a sweet and sour sauce.